Hey guys, it's your girl geekxxchic here, geekxxchic. We're back with another reaction to Cloak and Dagger. This one is for the latest episode, which is called Rabbit Hold. So, last episode was quite informative. We got to learn a lot about, of course, Miss O'Reilly. We found out what was going on, how Mayhem came to be, and how it affected her, the gas affected her, and just basically that we're dealing with this really complex villain that is, yeah, it's a very complex villain. There's really no other way to put it. It's part of O'Reilly. It's at the moment on a path of righteous judgment, but also crazy and murderous. And so, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see as she continues to unfold throughout the season, as I brought out in the last episode. And we're also seeing, again, a lot of Tandy and Tyrone trying to navigate these moral waters of how to be heroes and how to use their gifts in a way that helps people, but also doesn't necessarily fly in the face of the laws and the way that things are set up in our society for a reason. So we know that Tyrone pulled Mayhem into the dark force dimension last episode, which, as I said, may actually end up being a bad thing in the sense of this place is literally meant to kind of prey on the worst fears of someone, and Mayhem is not the full part of O'Reilly, so I feel like he might end up making her far more aggro than he planned, and that obviously is not going to be good for anyone, but we're not going to know until we watch the episode. So without further ado, let's get into it and we will chat about it after. Okay? Let's boot.
Felt like she was being sucked through me and then put on to somewhere else.
And why do you think that?
So it felt with Connor.
What the hell are you talking about?
Connors. To Connors.
I thought that Tandy knew that already.
But it's not like I can just step into myself.
Maybe I could do it.
There we go. Let's come up with solutions, Tandy, not just accusations.
One.
What are we planning to do here?
Make me afraid.
You know the daggers don't affect you, right, Ty? Pretty sure we established that last season.
You're a guest in a Bywater house, and you're wearing out the welcome mat.
Why is everyone in this department such a jackass? Like, just throw the whole damn department away. Seriously, just raise it to the ground. Oh, Ty, we need to get you a mask, sir. This is the whole first Vigilante 101. A mask or something to conceal your identity.
Yeah, and then we weren't for a long time, and you were hanging on tight to this piece of driftwood.
That's a little bit of a breeze there.
And your parents, they're separated from each other, from you.
I thought so. It's like, I think Tyrone's parents are not together right now. That's creepy. It's cool and creepy.
Hey,
His
can you
face.
hear me?
So I'm wondering if this is like a chamber for each person. Like, is this like, because it says dimension, like, does everyone get their own little bubble? But I gotta think that Tandy can like navigate this differently because she's got the other side of the force, if you will.
They don't know about the church, right?
No, but you do have an address on record.
Oh no. I didn't even think of that. Crap, his mommy. That must be the uncle. It's gotta be from last season. Maybe he's coming after the mom because Connors is missing. Uh-oh, mom's gonna pull out her piece. Knew it. She's like, I'm in a fancy neighborhood, y'all, but I'm from the hood. I feel so bad for her. Following a trail of blood. See, this is white people. You know, black people see a trail of blood. We ain't walking towards it. Is that baby Ty? Oh my God, I was scared. I thought she killed him.
Tyrone, you're divine pairing.
So you get that channel.
We get all the channels.
That means you.
I am that which stands at the crossroads. St. Peter, Atterbon, Papa Legba.
Interesting.
I've seen blood and a green jacket, but it was worn by half a woman.
Yeah. Okay, the scary half though, right?
Yeah.
Do you know where she went?
Half a woman.
What do you
Wow.
want from her?
What's this?
Yeah.
Your receipt.
Why does it have this on it?
Every coin has two sides to it.
Y'all, there's so much symbolization in here. I can't.
Come on. Look, I know this is gonna seem weird, but I promise it's safe. Okay?
Can he do that with Tandy and him? That sounds so gross.
Get in. Get in.
Did your mama just lift the car?
How did you even know how to do that?
Boy, she didn't grow up in... the nice spot in the neighborhood. Take the girl out of the hood, you can't take the hood out of the girl. So she's watching herself go after Mayhem? Is this what's going on right now?
Look, there's nothing in these mirrors, which is weird for mirrors, right?
It's because you're not a full person.
Or not?
You don't get it, Mayhem. So those are all her possible futures, I'm assuming? Scientist, the badass, the ballerina. I don't know what the one in the end is, though. Oh, there's even another one. Is this just all the different people Tandy's pretended to be? This is cool. She'll like.
Sometimes the status quo is okay. And sometimes girls are stolen and sold into slavery. Oh wait, that's all the time.
I mean, she's right. Oh, this whole episode's gonna have me nervous and tense. I can't believe that boy is turning Tyrone in after he saved his life, either.
Nothing.
Sometimes bullets need to hit people.
Doing what I can. You can't get in trouble too.
I haven't been a kid in a long time.
Right? Boy, when you don't understand your mother has lived that whole life before you were even conceived.
Someone's been living here.
Connors?
For months from the looks of it.
Is that you? So really the Dark Force dimension is just a mall? I mean, dark theme aside, it's kind of cool to have your own album cover, even if it's just for a show. That's neat.
Many of the girls in here were lost to begin with, for one reason or another. Selected, I'd wager, because they would not be missed.
Sad reality.
Like Michaela.
I kind of like how they're doing this parallel of history with modern day. That's really cool.
Whatever we're looking for, whatever monster this is, it must have something to do with this place. The city is full of monsters. Hells.
Okay, so something potentially from the Dark Force dimension that's channeled there. That makes sense. Larger villain.
Does your friend have a name?
Evita.
Alita?
It wasn't that blonde girl who showed up at the door last year.
What's wrong with the blonde girl?
She does those tours, you know.
Yeah, I know. I've never been on one. How many have you been on?
Nah. I see you, mama. You trying to be shady, but I know what you asking, girl.
Yo, I got him.
Boy, you got a nerve. I saved your life, and this is what I get. See, that's why I said sometimes bullets just gotta land. They just gotta land, man. Britney Spears? Really? Gross. Are these the memories she didn't know, or the ones that she's blocked, maybe? I thought it was maybe future, but maybe these are memories she doesn't remember. Or no, that she's locked away. It's true, though. As kids, we remember everything.
Enough that noise.
Right? I mean, Britney Spears would totally depress me, too. Oh, no. Tandy, do we need to start unlocking all of your childhood despair? We need to get out of here. Tyrone can't do his thing while you're in here.
My son hasn't had a chance to live. Not for a long while.
No.
No, maybe not.
Look, I ain't trying. Don't shoot.
Tyrone's face.
I won't.
So Mom put the earphones on so she wouldn't hear all the screaming and fighting. Wow. It's amazing. We don't think about how much we do as kids to cope and what parents do to help us cope. Tyrone, you cannot go to jail. I mean, I know you can teleport your way out of there, but this is just not gonna make life easy on you. Well, I'm glad that you had time to deal with all of your pain while Tyrone is still just trying to live life. Tandy, come on! You look great, Connors. How's it been going down there? This is such a bad plan. This is such a bad plan. This is such a bad... Damn, okay, Mayhem. Sorry. What was that?
I said, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't care.
Wow, she is cold. I like it. Wow. Wow, you were out of your depth, Tandy. Oh, Dark Force Dimension's like, not today.
I broke the rules.
Tandy, what happened?
And damn, he knows where you are now. Where's Mayhem? She's still in there? Ah, why end now? I've got questions, damn it. Okay, guys, that was Rabbit Hold. Very interesting. I don't know who's in charge of the creative, like the visions, not the visions, the visuals that they do in this show, but they need all the awards. I love how they use visuals in this show, and the best part is they're not expensive, right? In a show that has two people who have superpowers, this show does such a good job with storytelling on what's really quite a tight budget, and it's still so effective. I love that about this show. I don't know who's in charge of it, but they're so good. Anyway, highlights of the episode for me, I think, was definitely getting a little bit more information on the Dark Force dimension. Honestly, it's been the absolute biggest question, I think, since season 1. How it, I mean, Tyrone still doesn't really understand what it is still. We knew this thing existed. At first, all we thought it would do was allow Tyrone to teleport, but we see that it could actually pull things into it. And now we finally got to see a little bit of what's going on in there. Now, this Dark Force dimension I know is huge. Like, it's throughout the Marvel universe. It's not just with Tyrone. I know it's it's just massive, but I guess in the sense of at least in the context of Tyrone, it's a little bit more localized. It seems to very much be based on what Tyrone knows and what Tyrone understands, and a little bit of Tyrone's environment. But I was kind of wondering at first, like, how Tandy's whole life got in there, but then I forgot that Tyrone and Tandy are kind of two sides of the same force, right? The same thing hit the both of them. So I feel like they are so much more intertwined than they even know yet, right? Like, I think the reason the Dark Force dimension has all this stuff on Tandy is not just because Tandy entered at that moment, but because they've had this connection between the two of them since they were both hit with that blast. So the whole journey through was great. I mean, because to me, I was kind of trolling a bit during the episode, like, oh, what, it's a mall? The Dark Force dimension is literally a mall? But to think of a way to visualize something as nebulous and vast as a place where everyone's fears live is really hard, right? Because it's gonna take different shape for different people. So I think it was really smart on whoever chose to say, let's just localize this. Let's make this something that people can really understand. Let's keep it simple, budget friendly, but still effective. And I think that they did a great job of that. Everything from the little area where Connors has been living and hanging up all the cloaks to the record store being what is the representation of all the darkness that these girls have gone through. All of it was great. I love how they represented Tandy's locked memories as the sealed records, right? Like, that is so, and the thing is, the representation of records even, people, like, there's so much depth in this episode. But when you think about it, people say, like, your subconscious memory works like a record player. Basically, it has things like messages, memories, thoughts that go over and over and over again. They're literally in an endless cycle of repeat. And even if your conscious mind is not aware of all of them, your subconscious is always going. When you're a child and you go through certain traumas, basically, if you don't have the emotional or mental capacity yet to deal with the amount of complex emotions and things that need to happen for you to process it, your brain will do this thing where it literally kind of like seals them away, like it sealed those records, and it puts it in a place and says, okay, we're gonna deal with that later, girl, because we can't even fathom it right now. Like, that's just too much. And then you just kind of go on. And this is why people use that expression, oh, kids are so resilient. It's not really the kids are resilient, it's that they don't have the capacity to deal with the depth of the trauma that they've been through sometimes. Witnessing abuse, experiencing abuse, witnessing the emotional trauma in a family, watching fighting, because believe it or not, when parents get into all-in fights with each other, that very much emotionally affects your children. I love that they show baby Tandy, even though she wouldn't have understood what was being argued about with her parents, she would have felt the energy that was coming out of that argument. She would have felt her mom's fear. She would have felt her dad's anger. And that affects a child. All of those things affect a child. And because she was too young to process or deal with them, they just became these sealed records that they're still there. They're still there. And as she gets older and as you start to develop mentally and emotionally and you grow, you start to be able to process these things. And what happens is that the wrapping starts to come off some of those memories. The fact that these memories want to come through and be dealt with is what will push people to do things that they don't even realize why they're doing it. Like we saw Tandy self-medicating, using men, stealing, doing all these things. They weren't all because Tandy was a bad person. It was her trying to deal with all this trauma that she had tried to seal away in her memories, but they were there still. They were still there, and she needed to just deal with them. Really, what it comes down to is, even though Mayhem said you don't need to look at all these memories, Tandy kind of does have to do it. Not in that moment, of course. In that time, they were still sitting around in Tyrone's dark dimension. Tyrone was going through all kinds of things and stuff, and it wasn't the right time, but it is something that, you know, I think the messaging there, which was brilliantly illustrated in my opinion, was that Tandy does need to go through these memories at some point, address them, and do exactly what you did. Just smash them and be like, look, that happened. The image of this godlike person that I thought my father was is not true. He wasn't a perfect man, and that's okay. Like, she needs to kind of make that reconciliation, but also understand that that doesn't mean her father was a complete monster either. He was a man who made a lot of really bad choices. But she needs to kind of come to terms with all of that, plus what her mother went through and how all of that affected her. And that's the only way that she's really going to be able to stop doing things that she did in the past, like going back to that selfish behavior she was in before, going back to that self-medicating. The only way to stop those cycles is to break the records, right? So it's just wonderfully done. Wonderfully wonderful. I could go on and on and on about that, but honestly, it was just so beautifully done. I love how they did that. But the fact that they managed to fit that all in the episode, and it made sense for both for, well, it was mostly for Tandy's storyline, let's be real. It didn't really help Tyrone's storyline at all, but at least we got some more information. One of the biggest reveals we got is that there is a larger force at work here, right? Before we always thought that things were about Roxxon and about this chemical, but it's not that. Like, there's something even deeper and bigger, something that's living in the Dark Force dimension, or at least has access to it at the very least, that is causing, that's really the root of all of this. Well, I think there's a much bigger force at hand here, because remember last season, Evita's aunt was like, there is a force here. There's always been a force here that the divine pairing has always had to beat back. They've always had to fight it back. Tyrone and Tandy have got to be here to do it again. And I think Tyrone and Tandy assumed it was taking care of that gas last season, but I think that was just the tip of the iceberg, which is awesome. So I loved getting that reveal. I hope we do get more of it. I would be okay if we didn't actually see it all this season, because honestly, Mayhem is enough. Mayhem, and now that Connors is out again, is enough. I mean, Connor said he was sorry, you know, when he was being strangled, which, by the way, Mayhem, I'm trying not to stand, but it's really hard. She's so cool on so many levels. Still has to go, obviously, but I love that she hung him, and then she like let him, she's like, I'm sorry, what were you saying? Oh, you're sorry. Yeah, don't care. Starts like, that's the kind of petty stuff that I would do, okay? It's just like, oh, I'm gonna hang you about 14 times. This is gonna be slow and painful, sir. But anyway, he's free, which is good and bad, because as they said, they do need Connors to prove that Tyrone is innocent, but there's no way he's gonna do that. I feel like, you know, now he's out, he finds his uncle again, now that he knows that Tyrone is capable of, I feel like now that he actually was able to get out, he is definitely going to want revenge. He's gonna want to kill Tyrone at all costs, is what I think is gonna happen. And now Tyrone is obviously on the hit list of even more people. Oh, this poor boy, he just gets worse and worse for him. So I really have no idea how he's gonna get out of this situation, because having this gang on his butt, plus the cops, plus Connors, and then again, if they keep getting in Mayhem's way, that's another person on the list. Like, Tyrone needs to get some people off of his hate list, guys. This too much. We gotta have something crossed off, and I'm just not sure how that's gonna happen. And also, as a side, I also love that they, in the Dark Force dimension, that vision that looked like baby Ty, who is I'm assuming he's a gatekeeper of some kind. For those of you who read the comics, please let me know if you know what that character is supposed to be. Is there like a keeper of the dark dimension that that I don't know about? But I love that he referred to Mayhem as a half person. It makes me think that at some point during this season, I don't think we're gonna destroy Mayhem, so to speak, because I don't think they can. I think if they destroy Mayhem, it's going to, like, Bridget will never be fully whole. I think there has to be a way to bring them back together. And maybe Tyrone and Tandy have to be the ones to do it. I would be super cool with the idea of Bridget and Mayhem combining again as one person, but then it turning into like this much badder version of Bridget, right? Like, she can still be Mayhem, but she'll have the empathy and everything else to keep Mayhem in check. I mean, I don't know how well it's gonna go, because I don't know how much damage Mayhem's gonna do before that happens, but I haven't read much about the comic version of Mayhem, but if it turns out that she's just kind of a really, like, just teetering on the edge vigilante, I'd be totally okay with that, because I feel like Tyrone and Tandy could totally use a sane version of Mayhem working with them. Either way, super good episode, very good. Love seeing Tyrone and his mom have those moments together, as short as they were. Sad to hear that his parents have split up since this happened. I get it though. Still lots of juicy things to get into with this season. I have to say, like, so far this season is great. The writing for this show is fantastic. I don't want it to change. I want it to keep getting better. So far, season 2 has been bomb. So what did you guys think of the episode? Are you looking forward to the rest of the season? Do you have any predictions, pardon me, as to how this is all gonna go down? Like, I have no idea at this point. I really don't know which way is up. If you have any clues, please put them in the comments below. You know I love reading them and getting involved with you guys. So if you like this video, please click like, and if you want to see more from this geeky face, please click subscribe. Until next time, see ya.